Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One Wrestling video question of the week. This is Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling, and joining me is
Mac Davis. You can find me at
Mad Mac Davis. So I want to ask you something before we start this question of the week. What are you so mad about?
It all came back from the Mad Max days, really. So,
is that what it is? Okay, all right. Now, one of the things that I wanted to bring up before we ask the question, that we want all the people out there to chime in right here on YouTube on One Wrestling Video. Before we do that, you and I are going to see each other at a huge fan fest, a super fan fest coming to Rome, Georgia. And when is that happening, Mac?
That's going to be on April 25th. And as you mentioned, it'll be in Rome, Georgia at the Forum Center. And it's the Superstars Fan Fest. There's going to be so many people there. It's just unbelievable. And one of the biggest stars of that event happens to be a part of our question this week.
Well, he is. That's correct. But this man is going to, although there are going to be tons of huge superstars there, and also Mac and I will be hosting the Bruiser Brody Q&A and the Bruiser Brody Memorial Show. And but there is one guy there who is the icon, who's going to be there signing autographs, taking pictures with you. And that is a guy named
Sting.
This guy. And so in order to get your tickets, go to Facebook and go to Superstars Fan Fest, and you will find how to get tickets for the meet and greets and everything. And this guy is half of our question of the week. The other guy, can you move over, please, Sting?
Oh, yeah, both of them. Hey,
is this guy? Yeah, this guy. That's not his bones. It's rock candy. It's a collectible. Well said. Of course, this is not going to happen at all. There's no way it's going to happen. They've decided to junk it and all that. But there's still a segment of the public that would like to see this guy against this guy. Okay? Now, the question of the week is, fans, do you want to see Sting against The Undertaker? So before we throw that out there for you, I want to ask you, Mac Davis, do you want to see Sting against The Undertaker at WrestleMania or anywhere else?
Remember, I'm a Southern-born, Southern-raised wrestling fan.
Okay.
So Sting, and actually at my age, I'm 55. So Sting was actually the hottest thing going in wrestling during that time when I was really involved in getting into wrestling.
Absolutely.
And to see Sting face The Undertaker, to me, is a dream match that can still happen if they move quick enough. I'm afraid that if they keep putting this off too much longer, the ability for either one of those two guys to get in the ring and do enough for a match is going to be minimal. And that worries me. And I know that Sting mentioned one time before that he had an idea in his mind of a good way for him and Undertaker to approach a match that was more story than match. And that's what I would love to see. And there's nowhere else that it should happen than WrestleMania.
Okay, so my opinion on this is I wouldn't mind seeing the two of them getting in the ring. I think the face-off would be absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And I think to do some of the early ring action and maybe some false finishes might be terrific. But if the match is going to go more than, let's say, 15 minutes, I don't want to see that match. I want to see that match in a very quick storytelling way. I'd like to see both of them use I'd like to see the Stinger do the splash and the Scorpion Deathlock, and I'd like to see the Undertaker do the Tombstone. I don't know how I would finish that match, but see, that's the other thing.
Question.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's funny because I don't know how you finish that match Now, there is a way to finish that match if that was both their last match, because they both could go down and just basically disappear as they both beat one another, and that was it. They both fade away at the same time.
Well, wait a minute. What if they did a special 15-minute time limit on this match? And it went, I know that's not plausible because nobody
I think that there's
chooses, but a battle of the veterans.
Yeah, I think the story is there, and I hope that it doesn't get missed. I keep going back to that wrestling keeps trying to figure out what happened to a certain amount of population of viewers who kind of just disappeared after the Monday Night Wars. I contend that a large amount of those people, if you put Sting and Undertaker on the WrestleMania card, would buy that WrestleMania card simply for that one.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So here they are. Here they are. Face to face. They lock up. All right. The Undertaker gets Sting in the tombstone. Boom. Sting goes down. 1, 2. Kick out. Right? What happens next? What happens next? Sting goes with the Undertaker, the Stinger Splash into the Scorpion Deathlock. All of a sudden, I just figured out the ending. Somebody like AJ Styles and
about
the original, what, some guys, AJ Styles and his guys, the original club, come out and interfere. Sting and Undertaker beat the snot out of them, and it's declared a no contest.
Or if you want to put over a younger talent like Bray Wyatt, why not Bray come into the end of that match and cause both of them to be gone?
That would be great. That would be great. Boy, but you see, then you have to think, would these two veterans who pride their careers mean so much to them, are they going to want to go out that way? That's why I think somebody's going to run in and cause a ruckus, and it's going to be a no contest. And at the end, we're going to see this, and a nice hug, and hopefully this. Both winners.
That would be a great way to end it, and I hope, again, that that's what we see. I'm getting nervous, though, as time goes on, that we may not. And trust me, if we don't get it for WrestleMania, when we go to Superstars Fan Fest on April 25th in Rome, Georgia, I will try to find him and ask that very question. Will we ever see that match?
Well, he might say what a lot of wrestlers say, if it's the right time and the finances are right, we'll do it. But then again, remember, there are people out there, and I was kind of on the fence about this, even when we were talking last night about what this week's question of the week would be. There are people out there that I know said, no, I would rather just leave it in my mind what would have happened if the two of them would have clashed in their primes. I don't want to see it. So...
Well, yeah, and it's and there are a lot of people that way. I've heard the same thing. So I personally, again, I'm a Southern wrestling fan. To see Sting at WrestleMania and be in a match against The Undertaker really is probably the only other dream match I can think of from my childhood that still exists.
Yeah. Remember, I'm a Southern boy too. I was born in the South Bronx. Yes, in New York. So fans, please give us your response. Do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? And also add in, if you want to see it, if you were booking this match, what would your finish be? All right? And once again, April 25th, Rome, Georgia. Rome, Georgia, the Superstar Fan Fest. Go to Facebook. They have an official Facebook page, and you got to come out and see us. And Mac and I will be doing interviews, and I will have copies of my book, Is Wrestling Fixed?
I didn't know it was broken.
Well, I will have copies of that at that point as well. So, Mac Davis, thank you so very much. And fans, thanks for helping us make this segment something you want to see every week. It might be a Monday, it might be a Tuesday. It'll never be on a Wednesday because we've got NXT and AEW, but it could be on a Thursday talking about it. All right.
Hey,
And for, yeah,
one more thing. Big
yes.
match tomorrow night. And don't forget to watch AEW Wednesday night. There's a huge cage match. And I was telling you earlier today,
Southern.
if you go back to the days, when his father was in the ring, there was a point he was in a cage match and all hell broke loose.
That's right, baby. All hell because the American dream in the cage, no holds barred, baby. What you gonna do if you will?
If you will.
That's it. That's it. And don't forget also NXT. That's a
Yes.
great, and they had an amazing pay-per-view the other night. And yeah, NXT, AEW, it's all so exciting. And also, don't forget Impact Wrestling and
Yes.
Ring of Honor and MLW, and there's so many initials. And Cal Championship Office Wrestling, of which I still have and Mac Davis. Maybe one of these days you might qualify for a shot at the belt. We'll have to talk to.
If you look right over here, I got one of my belts sitting on the wall right there. It's kind of off to the corner.
Yeah, we can't see that, but you
That
can
was
see
my
the
very
belt,
first
though.
belt I ever won.
What was that?
At that time, this is going to sound funny. This is before the social media and everything else. We just started putting websites basically on the internet at this point. And I came up with an idea that we needed a championship called the Multimedia Championship
That's a great idea.
and so we did that, and it actually ended up being my belt that I still have to this day.
Well, that's great. So, fans, thank you for letting us in on that story. The Shaky Taker, rock candy in here, by the way. It's a candy thing against the Undertaker. Who wins if it happens? And how do they win? Or is it going to be a double DQ because somebody, might be Bray Wyatt, is going to interfere? We'll see you
At the matches.
Yeah.